Hey Eric, this is a demo video for you for your Starkiller. Got it all done. So you asked for some heavy weathering. I hope you like what I did there. Try to go slowly so you can see that. A little bit of scarring up here, scarring along the edges. Got some battle damage and some chips around here, and then also on the other side as well. Did a paint job on this, did some weathering on the paint job, put a clear coat on everything so what you see will stay there all the way down. So that's what we've got on the outside as far as weathering. You do have a real quartz crystal in there. Like I mentioned to you when I was texting you on the process, I took this quartz crystal, I baked it, and then I quenched it in cold water to crack it on the inside for light refraction, and then I think that goes well also when you're dealing with hilts such as the Starkiller. So let's get into it. This is a CFX install with Neopixel. You have two recessed buttons right here. The one closest to you is your activation, and then the one up here is your auxiliary. These are a little bit you have to press on them to get them to initiate. So that's just the nature of how this hilt was made. It was made for these buttons so that they sit on the inside and they don't rise above the control box. But in order to do that, I'm using my thumbnail here for the activation, and then as long as you just press a little bit on this activation, you can get it to go to. You can hear it there, and then you can also hear it there. So those are your two buttons, activation and auxiliary. And then we'll open it up here. Due to the diameter of this guy, this is actually called an SK Mini from the guy who does the run. So this is a little smaller than you would find in like a normal size or something that like a Starkiller converted from a Graflex. So there wasn't a whole lot of room here for your board, your battery, and your speaker. So there's a 28 millimeter premium speaker on the back here, but it is not encased. It is adheses to the chassis, and it's not going anywhere. So it's right there. And then you have your battery compartment right here. The spring is your negative side, and then your positive always goes towards your speaker. And then I got my name on the chassis right here, and then your board up top. So everything on this board was wired from the bottom, minus my two jumper wires that I jumped the negative pads for the Neopixel. But everything else pretty much wired on the bottom, so you can't see anything. This board is not glued down in any way to the chassis. I made it a tight press fit, so if at any time you needed to get into your board or pop it up for any reason, you can do that, but it is tightly press fitted down into the chassis. So here's your battery I'll be sending with you, or sending with the hilt. Negative side to the spring.
As you wish, my master.
And this slides right on. We'll go over it one time without your blade in it, just so that you can see the different types of effects. I'm going to turn this light off and hit activation. Now you asked me for an unstable effect on your blade, so for right now you can just see it mimicking it on your crystal. And then I tap auxiliary for blaster deflex, which you won't see on the crystal. But if I hold it down for blade lockup, you can see it. So very nice shine through on the crystal, and when you get it in person, you'll see that the cracks in the crystal are showing really well in there as well. So I did make you also a 7/8 inch Neopixel blade, and we'll put that in here. This knob right here is actually going to act as your blade retention screw. This top one, not the bottom one. So it's already backed up and out of the blade chamber. So we'll put your blade in. Everything is a pretty snug fit. Sometimes I have forgot to turn on the activation just to see if I got the blade all the way down. And I don't. So let me get it in there a little bit. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get it in there. What I might do before I send this to you is I might sand it a little bit, just so that you don't have to worry about that as much as I'm doing right now. But I'm not going to use the blade retention because of how tight it is. Now, you did ask me for a not quite as slow as I gave you on your Obi-Wan, but a lot slower than the recently etched saber that you got from me. Let me see if I can back up a little bit and do this for you. You get a nice unstable effect that you could see on my shirt. It is daytime, so it's kind of hard to see it on the actual blade, but at nighttime you'll see it very good. And then, like I said, it's showing up well on my shirt. But you can see your crystal is going to mimic your blade. So if I tap the auxiliary for blaster deflex, they do show up randomly on your blade. Or if I hold it down for blade lockup, and then you have all of the functionalities on this saber that you have with the other ones from me. So holding auxiliary down when the blade is off to get to your sound fonts.
Sound bank selection.
What is thy bidding, my master?
And then you can cycle up or down through your activation or your auxiliary.
Ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
So if you find one that you like, just tap either button or just hold down either button.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
This is also an unstable effect on your second sound font, but it's just a slightly different unstable than the last one. So you can see it in your blade or in your crystal coming back and forth. That's how your whole blade will look. You can see it on my shirt. So that is your hilt. It does have the pins on one side that you were asking me about earlier. The Starkillers don't have them on the other side though. So it's got the one-sided there, and hope you enjoy. I'll get this out to you in the mail tomorrow. Thank you.